StraightallDay.com.
You are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is how to have more energy. We're going to take it back to the basics here today. Just talk about one of the basic of your 5 forms of investment. This matters a lot, and I'll explain why in a moment. First, let me tell everyone 2 things. First of all, I have a daily motivation text that I send out for free that everybody should know about. If you don't know about this, I don't know how you don't know about it. Only way you could not know about it is if maybe this is just one of the first episodes you ever listen to. So if you're new to the show, welcome. I have a daily motivation text that I send out every day free of charge to everyone who's in my text community. You should be in my text community. Why? Because you have a phone and you have unlimited text messages. So text me at this number, 305-384-6894. Send me a text right now. You're holding your phone in your hand right now. Just send a text to the number, 305-384-6894. And every day when I send out the daily motivation, because you're in my text community, and only because of that, you're going to get the daily motivation text. All right, so if you listen to this show, you can get a text from me. So text me right now to do that. And number 2, any of you business professionals who are serious about getting to the next level in your business in terms of your revenue, in terms of your income, and in terms of your processes and strategies, that's my area of expertise. Then go to workonyourgame.net. I have a free 45-minute training there to tell you exactly what the steps are to doing that. You get a good feel for my process and how I help people in business. Go watch that training. At the end of the training, if you are so inclined, there'll be an opportunity for you to schedule a call to hop on with me, and we can talk about how I can help you do that. Everything I'm going to tell you in that training, I'll show you how I can help you do that in your business. That's at workonyourgame.net. Now let's get to the topic. How to have more energy. First of all, back in episode 609, I told you how there are 5 forms of investment in life that everybody needs to be successful. The 5 forms are time, money, attention, energy, and focus. Energy, being one of those 5, is 85% of the job in life. You have to have energy to do anything. All right? If you have a whole bunch of time, but you don't have any energy, then you'll just be, laying around in bed or on the couch doing nothing. So you have time, but you don't have any energy to do anything with the time. Energy is what activates all your other 5 forms of investment: your time, your money, your attention, and your focus. Energy is the tool that allows you to activate your skills, abilities, and whatever other resources you have at your disposal. So on a scientific level, energy is simply the capacity to do work or to produce heat. And all heat is just how fast molecules are moving in an object or in the atmosphere. That's all heat is. And when things move slower, you get coolness, or what some people call cold. When you remove heat, when you increase the heat, that just means things are moving more. That requires more energy and work, because all energy is your capacity to do work. And work is your ability to make an impact on other objects, specifically to move an object from one place to another through the transfer of energy. That's all work is. It's a transfer of energy. So if you don't have any energy, then you can't do work. And if you can't do work, or you're not interested in doing work, then why would you be listening to a show called Work on Your Game? So assuming that you want the ability to do work, meaning you want the ability to transfer energy, well, here's the thing. You can't transfer something that you do not have. So if you don't have any money, you can't make a money transfer. If you have no energy, you can't make an energy transfer. So today, let's talk about how you can have more energy. With respect to the conservation of energy law, was one of the laws of thermodynamics that says energy is neither created nor destroyed. It merely moves from one object to another. So how can you get more energy to accrue to you? That's the question that we will answer in today's episode. Point number 1. Today's topic, once again, is how to have more energy. How are you using your body? So the way I'm going to tell you how to have more energy, I'm going to ask you questions today. I'm going to ask you 1, 2, 3 questions, and your answers to these questions will tell you why your energy level is what it is. And when you come up with some better answers to these questions, which I'm going to help you come up with, then your energy levels will increase. All right. So how are you using your body is the first question of energy. The way that you use your body has an effect on how much energy you have or you do not have. Let me give you an example. If you sit on the couch all day and watch Netflix and eat ice cream, what happens? And when I say what happens, what I mean is, do you have more energy or less energy at the end of the day? Because some people incorrectly think that that the less you do, the more energy that you have. That's not true. So again, let me ask a question. You sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat ice cream. Will you have more energy or less energy? I mean, you didn't use any energy, so shouldn't you have more energy? No. Usually you have less energy if you do that, simply because you are not using your energy. So as the saying goes, if you don't use something, you lose it. What we do not use goes away. It's the law of atrophy. You're not using a muscle, the muscle gets smaller and weaker. Paradoxically, if you get active, if you exercise, if you go do a workout, if you associate with other human beings, you exchange ideas, if you go places, you do stuff, then you are generally an active individual. Do you have more or less energy at the end of a day, or throughout the day? Do you have more or less energy? Usually our energy goes up when we're doing things. When we're active, we get more energy. Why? Because when we're doing stuff, the body gets conditioned to doing more things. The body gets conditioned to the level of energy that we are requiring of it. And therefore, it supplies us with more energy. It grabs more energy from the universe, and it gives it to us because we're using it. What we use, we tend to get more of. What we are applying and utilizing, we tend to get more of in terms of resources. And what we ignore and don't use, we tend to have less of. This is just the way that the universe works. It gives us more of what we are asking for, and it gives us less of what we ignore. So energy begets energy. The more of it you use, the more of it you have. People who work out a lot, people who work out every single day, don't those people tend to have more energy than people who don't work out at all? It's interesting, right? Because again, we would generally think that if you do less, then you should have more energy because you're saving it up. The thing is, yes, there is a time to save energy. Usually we call that sleep, right? Or we call that rest. That's your rest and recovery period that you do need. The biology demands that we take some time to rest every day. Again, usually we call that sleep, somewhere between 6 and 9 hours most people get on a day-to-day basis. But once we get active and we're actually doing stuff, we tend to get more energy because we're out there using it. So the more of it you use, the more you get used to using, the more your body will find and supply to you. When you don't use energy and you're less active, your body gets used to not using energy and not being active, and therefore it supplies you with less energy. To give you an example, just this past weekend from when this is being recorded, the power, well, there was a hurricane that came through the state of Florida. It didn't actually hit Miami. We barely even got any rain, believe it or not. I had a bunch of people who were texting me, asking me if everything was okay down here, so I appreciate you all for asking, but we barely got any rain in Miami, actually, even though there was some hurricane system passing through. It went to the west side of the state, and then it kind of went up through the middle, but even though we barely got any of the effects of the storm, we did get one effect, was that the power went out like a Friday and a Saturday. There was no power in the building. Now, the good thing is there are backup generators in high rises like this, so all the power inside of each person's unit was fine. So I still had Wi-Fi, the lights were on, all the stuff inside. But as soon as I went out in the hallway, it's pitch black. The elevators aren't working, and I'm on a high up floor, so the elevators aren't working. I had to take the stairs to get all the way down. I had to walk up the stairs to get all the way back up. And it was either Saturday or Sunday. I believe it was Saturday. I took the stairs down. I'm taking the steps down. I'm about halfway down, and I saw a guy who lives in the building. He lives on my floor. I know who he is. He lives on the same floor as me. He's a bigger guy. He's not a guy who goes to the gym on a regular basis. I can tell just by, I know he doesn't go to the gym on a regular basis, and I can tell by looking at his body that he doesn't go to the gym on a regular basis. He was on his way up the stairs. I'm on my way down the stairs, and he was kind of taking a little break in between floors, and I knew why he was taking a break, because he's not in shape. And because he doesn't use his energy consistently, at least when it comes to working out. I mean, he goes to work every day, but he doesn't use his energy consistently when it comes to working out. Therefore, when his body, now he's demanding that his body supply him with energy so he can walk up the stairs, he didn't have it. And this is what happens to us when we don't use our energy on a consistent basis. The good news for him and everybody else is energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's merely transferred from one object to another. So you can create more energy in your body. You just got to start doing some different things that's going to supply more energy to you on a more consistent basis. Consistency is very important over here in the Work on Your Game world, which you are now a part of. Point number 2. Today's topic again is how to have more energy. Second question is, what are you putting in your body? So the first question is, what are you doing with your body? Now, what are you putting in your body? So when it comes to your eating lifestyle, or what some people will call your nutrition, or some people call your diet, your body is similar to a motor vehicle. Meaning that you cannot put bad, low-quality fuel inside of your vehicle and then expect that vehicle to consistently perform like a high-performance machine. That doesn't really make sense, does it? I mean, you wouldn't put water in the gas tank of a Ferrari and then wonder why the Ferrari is not buzzing down the road at 95 miles per hour within 0 to 4 seconds. It wouldn't make sense. You put cheap fuel inside of a machine, then the machine eventually is not going to perform at such a high level. Your body is the exact same thing. So what kind of fuel are you putting into your machine? What kind of foods are you eating on a daily basis? What are you eating on a day-to-day basis? What are you drinking on a day-to-day basis? Are you putting anything else in your body besides the things you eat and you drink? Are you smoking anything? Are you taking any type of drugs? Any kind of drugs. This could be drugs that you got from the doctor over the counter. This could be drugs that you got from some guy on the corner on the street. What are you putting in your body? Every single thing you put in your body has an effect. There is no neutral in the universe, everybody. You are either making yourself better or you're making yourself worse through your actions. And what you put in your body is an action. It's either making you better or it's making you worse. So the last thing that you smoked, the last thing that you drank, the last pill that you popped, is that thing making you better or is it making you worse? You may not like the answer to the question. That doesn't mean that there is not an answer to the question. And you know the answer. You don't need to be a nutritionist or a doctor. You don't even need to read any books on nutrition to know what is good fuel for your body versus what is not good fuel for your body. The case in point is the question that I just asked. The things that you're eating, drinking, smoking, and otherwise ingesting in your body on a day-to-day basis, do you need to consult a nutritionist to know which ones are helping versus which ones are not helping? Everybody knows the answer. For example, and listen, I'm not talking to you from some exalted position. Right now, if you're watching this on video, you see this, or if you're watching me on camera right now, you see what I'm holding up. I'm holding up a bag, for those of you who are just listening on audio. I'm holding up a bag of Haribo Gold Bears. It's a big bag, 28.8 ounces. This weighs 1 pound and 1.8 pounds, 816 grams of gummy bears. Now, these are gummy bears that I bought. Where did I buy these? I bought these at the local grocery store called Publix. All right, every gummy bear that I eat, is this making me better or is it making me worse? Is it getting me in better physical shape or worse physical shape? The answer is the latter. It's making me worse. It's putting me in worse physical shape. But I still have this bag sitting right here on my desk within arm's reach so I can eat gummy bears. Why? Because human beings are imperfect. So I'm not telling you that every single thing you put in your body needs to be perfect. I'm not telling you that you need to feel bad about yourself if you're smoking or drinking or popping or eating something that is not great for you. In my home right now, I can name what else I have in here that's probably not that good. I got some other gummy bears that are like the sour gummy bears with the frosting on them. I got those. I had some potato chips. What else I have in here? I got some Rita's water ice, and all this stuff is artificial sugars, added type foods. I got this stuff in my home right now. I eat this stuff on a daily basis. Now, I don't eat a ton of it. That's not the majority of my eating lifestyle, but I do eat it. So I'm not sitting here again telling you that you need to be perfect with this, but understand every single thing that you put in your body and do with your body has an effect. So in the cumulative overall, if you just look at how you eat over the course of 24 hours in a day, are you making your body better or are you making your body worse? Because in addition to those gummy bears that I got here, I also got this 1 liter glass bottle for water. I just took a sip right now. I drink more than 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight every single day. I also eat a 5-ounce bag of baby spinach, raw, straight out of the bag, every single day. I also eat a plant-based eating lifestyle from a meal delivery service that delivers my meals, and it's portion control, so I'm not eating way too much food. Any of you eat food from a restaurant, they give you way too much food, much more food than you actually need to put in your stomach. The human stomach is about the size of your fist. So ball up your fist, that's the size of your stomach. If the food on your plate is more than the size of your fist, you are eating too much. And that has an effect on what you can do with your body. Does it or does it not? Everybody here can understand it. Any of you who's ever had any kind of challenges with your weight or any challenges with your digestion or with your metabolism, you probably have read about this or heard about it from your doctor or somebody, or came to understand it, that you are eating too much or you're eating too much of stuff that is not necessarily good for you, and it has an overall effect on you, and it starts to add up. The older you get, the more it adds up, and the faster it adds up, and the harder it is to undo it when you make these decisions. So I also eat fruit. I eat probably more servings of fruit than is even the daily recommended amount by the FDA every day. So far today I've eaten, as far as fruit, I've eaten 2 bananas, I ate 2 apples, I got another banana sitting here, I've eaten a handful of grapes, and I'm going to eat more fruit for the end of the day. I'm going to eat at least one more banana, at least one more apple, and these are kind of things that I put in my body. So cumulatively, even though I eat some of the nonsense, I'm going to eat some potato chips today, guaranteed. I'm going to eat some gummy bears. I already ate some gummy bears. I'm going to eat some more, guaranteed. If I get my hands on some cookies, I might eat some. I prefer oatmeal raisin. I don't have any in the house right now, but if I get some, I would eat some. If I saw one, I eat it. So I'm not telling you that you're bad for doing these things. Just understand everything adds up, and you gotta be honest with yourself about these things. You see the way I was just honest with you about what I'm putting in my body? I know that these gummy bears are not helping me. I'm still gonna eat them. Okay, but I'm just letting you know, you need to be honest with yourself about this stuff. If you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. And if you are honest with other people, then at least be honest with yourself. Why not? So, let me ask you a couple questions. If you drink 3 beers tonight, will that help you perform at a higher level tomorrow morning? Now, we all know the answer to the question. I'm not even going to ask you to answer it because we all know the answer to the question. Even if you never drank beer before, you know the answer to the question. And my point is not that you need to stop drinking beer. It might be my point, but it's not my point. The point is, if you're going to drink 3 beers tonight, just understand the cost of drinking those 3 beers, that you're not going to be able to perform the way that you want to tomorrow morning. As long as you're okay with that, I am too. Let me ask another question. If you eat cake and ice cream for dessert, will you have a good workout when you get to the gym next time? I did this once. I remember I ate some girl I know, she had made some cake, and I ate some of the cake, and it was late at night. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I ate some of the cake. I think I took it home with me. I ate some of the cake. Then the next morning I tried to do a workout at 5 in the morning. That was a bad combination. That was a bad idea. Didn't work. Didn't work too well. So understand that you don't need to be a dietitian to know what is good for your body and what is not. So what are you feeding your body? What fuel are you putting in your tank? And what kind of energy expectations would you reasonably have given the choices that you are making? That should tell you where your energy is going to be based on the choices you're making with what you put in your body. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to have more energy. Here's the third question. What is your internal conversation sounding like? You may be familiar with the phrase mind over matter. If you heard that before, when your mind is activated and in the right energetic space, and the right space for you may be different from moment to moment, day to day, and different from person to person. So whatever that right energetic space is for you, your mind's power can make up for what you lack physically. This is why the saying is mind over matter. The mind can make up for whatever the physical is not able to deliver in the moment. This is how an athlete or any person can be injured in some way, yet you still perform at a super high level, because the adrenaline rush that actually comes from the kidneys but is activated by the brain can overcome whatever you are lacking physically in that time. The mental can overcome the physical. The mental is to the physical as 3 is to 1. That's a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte. When your mind is activated, it can make up for what you lack physically. Granted, here's the disclaimer to that. This is not forever. This doesn't last forever, this effect here. So when your mind is making up for what your body doesn't have, doesn't mean it's going to do it forever, but it can do it for a period of time. So you need to make some good decisions with what you're doing to and with your body to help your mind out, because you don't want your mind to have to make up for what your body lacks forever. Your mind should at least have your body meet it halfway. Get what I'm saying? The mind does have the power, though, to overcome nearly any physical obstacle or physical circumstance when properly activated. The idea is you want to make it easier on your mind by setting your body up for success. So when your body is set up for success, then your mind doesn't have to do extra work to make up for what the body's not doing. In other words, when your body's not pulling its own weight, the mind can make up for it, but you shouldn't make the mind have to make up for it all the time, every single day. All right, this shouldn't be an everyday thing. It should be an every now and then thing. So in this way, when you use your body the right way and set your body up for success, your mind does not have to work so hard and become the Superman to make things work out positively for you. To give a basic example, if I am mentally activated enough, I can have a great full day. I can go to the gym and work out, and I can go have a whole day in the office working, and I only had 4 hours of sleep the night before. All right, that's possible. Has any of you ever had that where maybe you didn't even sleep at all? Maybe you pulled an all-nighter, didn't sleep at all, but then you had a great day. Your energy was great. You felt all activated. It was as if you had gotten a full night of sleep, even though you barely got any sleep. Everybody's had a day like that at times in life. We all have it. Now, here's what I'm saying. don't get so used to doing that you think, all right, that's all you need to do. Like, you can just keep getting away with that, because eventually the third day catches up to you and that adrenaline wears off, and you're basically going to regress to the mean, which is the mean is if you get 4 hours of sleep, your body's not going to perform at a high level. Neither is your mind. So just because you got away with it once doesn't mean you should keep thinking you're going to keep getting away with it. That's where the stupidity comes in. All right. Nobody's ignorant to this fact that you need more than 4 hours of sleep. So just because you got away with it, don't think that means you could just keep getting away with it. Because if you, on the other hand, got 8 hours of sleep, you do the exact same thing, and your mind doesn't have to do so much of the heavy lifting, which again, it can't just keep doing forever. So the question is, what is your internal conversation? Because this is where the mind gets activated, based on your internal conversation, what you are focusing on. What are you saying to yourself on a daily basis about yourself, your life, your situation? Do you have a process for conditioning yourself mentally for success? Yes, there is a way to systematically, process-drivenly, that's a new word that I made up, condition yourself for success. Do you know what your goals are? And are you reminding yourself of those goals on a consistent basis? Do you know where you need to be, who you need to be rather, as a person, so that you can do what you need to do and have what you want to have? Do you know? Do you have it laid out? Do you have it written down such that you can look at it and read it? Your mind should not have to do any extra work on these questions that I'm asking here in point number 3, because all this stuff should be written down. So your mind doesn't have to remember it. All you got to do is look at it, and it's all written down right there for you. This is one of the reasons why taking notes and writing down what you want to do actually helps you to become successful, because you're asking less of your mind. See, when you just have something in your head, anytime somebody says they have something in their head, that means you are memorizing it, you're remembering it. The thing is, your brain has to do extra work every extra thing you ask it to remember. But if you write something down, you subconsciously let your brain know, okay, you don't need to remember this because we have it written down. The document will remember it, the paper will remember it, you don't have to remember it, brain. And the brain now has some more bandwidth that it can now use on other things that it doesn't have to use on remembering something that you were just too lazy or too undisciplined to write down. Everybody get it? So with that said, recapping today's class, which is how to have more energy. Keeping in mind that energy is 85% of the job, and all energy is your capacity to do work, and work is your ability to move an object from one space to another through the transfer of energy. Point number 1, how are you using your body? How you use your body has an effect on how much energy you have or do not have, and usually the more energy we use, the more energy we get. Energy begets energy. Point number 2, what are you putting in your body? When it comes to the way that you eat and the way that you drink, or things you smoke, or whatever pills you take, you do not need to be a nutritionist or any type of food expert to know what's going to help you with energy and what's not going to help you. And if you are unsure about whether something helps you or hurts you, try it and see how you feel. All right, your body will give you a clear signal as to whether this thing was good or whether this thing was bad. You know what effect 3 beers is going to have on what you do tomorrow, or eating cake and ice cream will have on your next workout. And again, you don't need to be any kind of expert to be able to answer these questions. Just be honest with yourself about what you're doing to and with your body and what effect it has. And number 3, what's your internal conversation? We all understand the concept of mind over matter. The mind can make up for what the body lacks, but it cannot do this indefinitely. So make sure that your body is meeting your mind halfway so that they're both pulling their weight. And when it comes to your internal conversation, how are you conditioning your mind? Do you have a process for consistently conditioning your mind with what you are telling it, what information you're giving it, what you are focusing on? Do you know what your goals are? I wrote my book, The Mental Workbook, to help you with this. If you're watching on video, is this book right here. If you're not watching on video, go to workonmygame.com/workbook. That's where you can get access to the Mental Workbook, 600-page, maybe 500-page book that is not all written words. There's a bunch of space in there for you to write out for yourself. You're going to do the writing in that book because it's helping you set up your goals and your plans for the future. Writing them down. Key phrase, writing them down. And if you don't have things all written down and you're asking your brain to do extra work of memorizing something, and the more work you're asking the brain to do on things that it shouldn't have to be doing, the less focus it will have, the less energy it will have remaining to focus on the things you actually need it for. That's why writing things down matters. With that said, text me to get my daily motivation straight to your phone. My number is 305-384-6894. And go to workonyourgame.net. Get access to my free training, 5 keys that you need to increase your revenue in business easily, even if you feel like you are already working yourself to the max. That link is workonyourgame.net. Work on your game. Dre all day.